fly with. See how big it is? It's huge. There's the battery on the bottom. That's a 5000. Hey everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve, and in this video we're going to take a look at the GEPRC MOZ7 version 2. Now in this video, I'm going to refer to this drone as the Beast. The reason I say that is because when you hold it in your hands, it feels like a beast. It has super thick carbon fiber. The base is actually wider than you would expect because it's designed to put a battery on the bottom or a battery on the top, and it just seems so large in the hands. And GEPRC did not do like a lot of other companies. When they made the new version with the DJI-04, they didn't just take the last version and slap the new camera in it. No, they updated a whole pile of things, so that's why the frame is totally different. The motors are different. This thing even has aluminum on top of the camera as well as on either side. And that piece of protective aluminum can be swapped for the external camera holder. So you can move the external camera holder to the front and the aluminum to the back and vice versa. Another nice feature of the new model is the GPS on the back is super fast at getting sats, and it's movable. You can move it up and down and bend it in any shape or form you want. And another nice feature is that this thing is designed to cool the DJI-04 system. So you can see the cooling vents on the bottom, the aluminum comes through, nice cooling, and on the sides. Plus they have, it's protective on either side, that you don't get dust and dirt in it when you're flying it. And they even kept the Spark Arrest XT60 connector at the back, so when you plug in a battery, it doesn't pop. It's really cool. And if you look at my antennas on the back, I have this one and I have this one. Those are for video signal. And then in the center, it looks like I'm missing an antenna. Well, I am missing an antenna, but that's only if I bought the ELRS version. So I don't have the ELRS version, but if you buy the ELRS version, it comes with an antenna in the front and an antenna in the back for ELRS solid communication. So I've flown this thing 4 times, and I'm going to show you 4 flights in this review, and I'm going to pop in some specs every now and then in between the flights, but I just want to show you. This is the old version here with the DJI-03 system. You can see it's actually smaller in size than the new version. I don't know if I hold them like this. So this is old, this is new, this is large, this is smaller in size. And if you want to see a size comparison with the iFlight model, here's the iFlight model I reviewed earlier this year, and here's the brand new GEPRC model, and you can see that lengthwise they're about the same size, but this is way thicker in carbon fiber than this. So as I mentioned, I have 4 flights to show you, so let's get on with the first flight, then come back to me and I'll tell you some more specs. All right, this is going to be the maiden flight of the MOZ7 version 2. I see a bunch of birds out on this little pond in front of me, and I don't want to scare them because this is kind of a very quiet, calm area. People come here to relax, and if I scare the birds, people are going to get upset. Anyways, I'm going to fly with this 2200 milliamp hour LiPo battery. It is 6S. I'll put it over here, see if you can see it. And when I put that battery on the MOZ7, check it out. It's pretty tiny. It only takes up this little space from here to here. I've got a whole section there, and I've got a massive section on the bottom to put a huge battery if I wished. But that's all I got with me today for 6S. So we're going to fly around with this. I don't know what the flight time is going to be. I'm not going to fly for too long because I see a lot of people out here today, and they are out here relaxing. And I am going to annoy the heck out of them flying with this massive thing. So I'm going to try to stay a little bit more over the water. And since I've got the plug and play version of the MOZ7, well, I have to use the DJI FPV remote, or I can put my own receiver in it, but what the heck, I'll just use this. And of course for goggles, I have to use digital goggles, so I'm going to use the DJI Goggles 3. Here we go. All right, it's a little bit muddy out here, but let's get this MOZ7 down here, and we'll just plug everything in, let the GPS acquire the satellites. And there we go. All right, so let's see how many satellites we have. We have on the display, we have 9 satellites, so we're ready to go. So let's put this in acro mode and arm the motors. Here we go. It's going to be powerful. Stay low to the ground. See the birds right there? We're not going to bother them. We're going to go around the side. Stay over here. Oh well. Forget everything I said. I bothered them. There's people over there too. Probably going, look at this idiot messing up our birds. We were watching them. Okay, we're going away from the birds. Let's go down here. So I've been out flying here before, and this was all ice. This is the Ottawa River. And as you can see, it's melted nicely. I'm going really slow so you can check out everything. And then over here is our area where everybody was ice fishing. Now check it out. This is all ice that you would not want to walk on. Here, let's go a little faster. There we go. Look at that. So all the ice fishing people are long gone. Let's come on back. Go here, fly over the road. In the summertime, you can't even see that road. The trees are so full, but right now you can see it. So let's go back here. This is really an exploration drone. If you wanted to name this drone, it's definitely an exploration drone. I'm taking it super easy here, going nice and slow. Look at this area. I'm just checking out all the snow that's melted. There's my little pond. Oh, there's people over there. Let's go this way, go over the pond, and then down. We'll come lower to the snow over here. Miss all the trees, and come on down. As long as I don't see humans around here, I'm good. All right, there we go. So there's the ice. Ice touching the beach. I'll go this way. There we are. If you walked on it, it would probably support you, but I wouldn't want to be the guy to test it out. Look at this. Look at how slow I can get this thing going. And you can look on the left-hand side of my screen, there's the speed. It says I'm doing like 47, 48 kilometers per hour. And if I want to go faster, oh, 2 ambulances there. If I want to go faster, I just go like this, and we'll check out the speed now. Now we're up in the 80s. Going over, screaming over top. There we are. Next thing I'm going to do is really quick is I'm going to do a tiny bit of freestyle really quick, and then we're going to go change locations to fly because there's too many people here. So let's just do a little spin. There we go. Does it nice as expected. Forward one and around and coming down at the ground. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Let's bring this back, and I'm going to go change areas because I see too many people out here relaxing and I'm destroying their relaxation. So let's come way down here. What is this? What are these things? Oh, those are trees or something that got pushed up against the shoreline. There's 2 people over there. Watch out for them. Let's go down this way. And we'll come back to me. Over this way. We'll go back over here. There's somebody sitting at a table over there. And there we are. Okay, I'll bring this in the camera. This thing is so easy to fly and so easy to hover, and I'm in acro mode, which is amazing. So look at this. Coming down. You can probably see it in the camera that's on the ground. You'll see leaves flying up everywhere as I come over everything here. Yeah, they'll probably get caught up in my props, but yeah. And I'll just bring it over here near the landing pad. We're close. All right, so you're back to me. Let me tell you about the brushless motors on this version. They're different than the previous version. These are 2809 brushless motors at 1450 kV. As well, if you're wondering what type of GPS is in this baby, it's an M1025 GPS. If you're wondering if there's a barometer in the flight controller, yes, there is. And you can see that in your OSD specs if you want to select altitude. If you're wondering about the ELRS antennas that I mentioned, there's one in the front, one in the back. If you get the ELRS version, it's designed for the Gemini-X. And Gemini-X means the receiver is Gemini-X and it's dual band. So you have one band up front and another band in the back. So you can go pretty far or you can go behind things and you should not lose telemetry or reception. All right, let me show you some more video before I tell you some more specs. So watch this. This is more exploration video. Check it out. All right, I'm at a second location. The wind is picking up, but I want to check this out because when I come out in the winter with a quad, a lot of times I fly here. Way back there are where all the ice huts are, and that's where the guys are fishing in the winter. There's probably like 70 different ice huts. If you watch my YouTube channel in the winter, I fly drones over that. Well, the ice is melting, as you can see down here as we look everywhere. So those ice huts had to be removed. The only ones that are left are the concrete ones hooked into the floor of the bed of this little pondy lake area. So I'm going to fly out. I just want to see what holes are left from those ice huts. Here we go. Let's plug this in and we're all set. Okay, I just want to say that was fast. This is the second flight. I just plugged in that battery and I have 21 satellites. That is fast. All right, let's go explore, baby. I don't want to crash into this ice. Let's go over here. Let's go see our little fishy that we see every time I come out in the winter. There's our little fishy. It's pretty windy out right now, and this massive drone doesn't even notice the wind. Oh yeah, there's our fishy. He's looking a little dry. So let's come back this way. Cars were driving on this in the winter. Here's the huts that are permanent. They're cemented in at the base. And over here is where all the ice huts were. So this was the road over on the right-hand side, and the huts were on the left. So you can see the holes they've left on the left. And yeah, once again, hopefully don't have to walk out on this ice, because I really would not want to. It is melting, and melting fast. And you can see, let me just go up here to show you where it goes to. All the way out there, and then it turns back into water. Now the cool thing is, if I show you my display, you can see an arrow right in the center pointing back to where I came from. There we are. Let's just look at this beautiful scenery out here. Look at that. So nice. Look at that. Gorgeous, baby. Just gorgeous. Over here is a marina. That's a marina down this way, but I'm just going to leave it, and we're going to come back to me. What a view. So down here is where all the huts were. Yeah, right down in this area. Amazing. So in the winter, it's pretty cool. And these people over here in the condos, holy cowabunga, they have an awesome view, because they can look all the way over at the ice huts in the winter and check them out. This condo is obviously being built, so I'm going to stay away from that. And of course, I'll stay away from these ones, because these ones are occupied right down there. So we'll miss all them and come on back to me. It's a very smooth flying quad, I'll tell you that much. If anybody's into exploration quads, this is a good one to get. Like, you could probably go explore the entire world. I know a lot of people buy these larger quads for doing mountain scapes. You know, you're going up and down the side of a mountain, because it's pretty cool with something like this. And let's come back to where I am. I'm all the way over here. Let's go through here, go underneath these branches and trees, and then we have to turn. And there I am right there, coming over my head. There we go. All right, let's see if I can land it someplace near me. I could even land it on the ice here. It'd be nice. Look at this. Let's bring it down nice and low. Nice and low. And come on back to our landing pad. All right, so as far as an FPV exploration drone goes, it's pretty darn good. All right, so you're back to me, and you saw 2 flights, and you noticed the video footage is pretty good. I did not have an external camera up top, and I was using the built-in camera, which is a DJI O4 Pro camera. That means I had the option of recording at 4K 120 frames per second, but I only recorded at 4K 60 frames per second. In addition, all that recording that you saw was all recorded to a micro SD. I didn't use the internal memory. I recorded everything onto the micro SD that you place into the unit at the back. If the flight footage looks smooth, well, that's because I'm a really good pilot. Not only that, it's because it has rock steady built in, so it's like a 3-axis gimbal. So if my drone was moving around in the wind or something like this, well, it smooths it out so it doesn't look as erratic. It looks pretty smooth. And you saw for exploration, you can fly far if you want. I didn't fly super far, but you can go over 10 kilometers in range with that. If you had these antennas, plus you had the tri-band little ELRS antenna that goes here, so you had the ELRS version, and you had an ELRS radio, you could probably go farther than 10 kilometers, maybe even 15 kilometers or more. All right, for my next trick, I'm going to take the MOZ7 for a speed test. Now, it is pretty windy out here, and if you're not from Canada and you don't have trees in your land that the leaves fall off, then you would look at this tree and go, that's not windy, it's not moving. I get a lot of people that say that in my videos when I say it's windy in the winter, and they look at the trees and no leaves and they go, that's not windy, I don't see any movement in the tree. Well, that's because there's no leaves on the tree, but you see if I hold up a little, like, I don't know, a little piece of material here, it pops around in the wind. So I'm going to be flying in this wind doing a speed test. So that means it's not going to be 100% accurate, but take from it what you will. I will say with the wind, it's pretty cold out here. It's like -5, but with the wind, it feels like -10. Anyways, this is going to be quick. So the battery I'm going to use for the speed test is a 2200 milliamp hour 6S LiPo battery. It is kind of large. I don't really have any smaller ones with me at the moment. So if you use a smaller battery, it's less weight. You probably get even more speed, but here we go. All right, let's plug this beast in. There we go. It's going to get the satellites really quick out here in this wind. Everything's blowing everywhere. All right, so let's see how fast it gets the satellites. Oh, it just made that sound, which means it's got the satellites. 12 satellites. God, this thing is fast at getting satellites. Everybody that watches my videos knows I can't fly with gloves on very well, so I'm going to take them off. Put it in acro mode. There we go. Take it off. All right, so this is the beast in the wind, and we're gonna do a little speed test. So let me just relax on my little Jeep, and I'm gonna go in one direction, then another. I'm gonna show you the video in my goggles because I have the GPS in it, and right now it says I'm going about 60 kilometers an hour, so there we go. What's it say? It's going 137, 38, 140. There we go, we'll slow it down. So there we go, so there's the speed. I almost drained my battery. It's pretty windy out here. I got stuff flying off my Jeep. Here we go, a little burst of speed. Nope, right there. Just as soon as I did that, the battery sucked itself dry. Whoa! Yeah, let's come on back. Let's bring it back lower to the ground. It's having difficulties now with the wind. Whoa, I think I was going so fast I loosened the props. So let's go get the beast. Yeah, the drone was flipping and flopping. It wasn't continuing straight, and it's usually the sign of a prop that's come loose. It means either the nut's gone flying off due to the high speed, I didn't have them tight enough, or well, it's just loose and spinning in place. We'll see. So here's our beast down here. I see 4 props on it. We're doing well. First things first, unplug the battery. That spins with the motor, spins with the motor, spins with the motor. Oh, there it is right here. That's the one. So if you're in the FPV hobby, you might be used to this. This prop has come totally loose. Look at that, it's just spinning around. Nothing, 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 nothing. So basically I was flying with 3 props. So let's go back and tighten this, and we'll go on to my next little magic trick. So for everyone in the FPV hobby, this is a common event. Happens often with quads. If you have a lot of power in a quad and there's a lot of resistance on the motor. When that happens, the scary thing is you don't want to be someplace where you're overpopulated area, because this thing will come flying out of the sky. The nut's still on it, which is good. So let's just tighten that. There we go, that's on tight, but let's check them all now since I've loosened them. And there we go, they're all on tight now. All right, she's ready to go again. Now for all of those flights that you've seen so far with this quad, I was using this battery. This is a 2200 6S LiPo battery. Let me tell you the following. GEPRC says you can actually put an 8,000 milliamp hour lithium ion battery on here and you'll get 25 minutes of flight time. Now the recommended battery in the lithium polymer series of batteries you can get, LiPo battery, would be a 3300 milliamp hour LiPo battery. I don't have one of those, but I do have the 3200, and you can see you can fit it on top and there's still plenty of room left. You don't even have to put it on the bottom. Plenty of room left. I don't know what the flight time is with this because I did not try it. However, I did try this one. This is a 5000. You can fit it on top. It actually fits on top. It blows my mind that it fits on top, but that's a 5000 milliamp hour LiPo battery. And if I was sitting here doing curls all day with this, I would get super big biceps because it weighs an awful lot. But this quad is different. It is designed to put the large batteries on the bottom like that. So in this next segment of video, I did exactly that. I put the large battery on the bottom. So check this out. So for my next trick, something different. What I'm gonna do is fly with this massive battery. Look at the size of this battery. So this is the battery that was on it. You can see it over here. And this is the battery I'm gonna fly with. See how big it is? It's huge. But what I'm gonna do is take this massive battery and I'm gonna stick it underneath, because this quad is designed, whoa! This quad is designed to fly with the battery at the bottom if you put a super large one on. So we're gonna try that here now. So in order to put the big battery on the bottom, the MOZ7 does come with 4 battery straps, 2 short ones and 2 long ones. So I've got the 2 long ones here. I'm gonna put these on the bottom. So I don't know if you can see that, the quad has the ability to put battery straps along the bottom. Nice carbon fiber holding everything in place. Next thing I want to show you is this is the battery, and you see it has to plug in up here. But the connector on this battery is different than this connector. This is an XT60 in here, and this is made like an XT90 connector. It's super large, so I have to have a converter to go from this to the smaller connector. And I have one here. You can get them off of Amazon. Plugged in, and it gives me a super long cable. All right, so let's strap this battery in as best we can with my frozen fingers. There we go. The battery is on the bottom. See that? There it is. So it's pretty heavy. It's a massive battery I stuck on there. That's a 5,000. That's the biggest you'd want to put. But this beast will lift it easy. And I don't know if you can see that in the back. I'll show in this camera over here. You see I have my battery connector going all the way up. It goes over the GPS. Probably not a good idea. And then over here into where it plugs in. And if you're wondering, I always go to the field with lots of tools. So you see in my FPV case, lots of tools up here in case I encounter any problems. So now on the MOZ7, you really don't need the top battery straps. I could take them off, but I'm just going to leave them on because this is just a test. I don't plan on flying too often with a battery on the bottom. This is just to see, for me anyways, to test it, see how it handles with that massively heavy battery on the bottom. I'm sure it'll fly fine, as long as they didn't destroy it, crash it into the ground back there. Make sure the props don't hit anything as they're spinning, no cables, that's good. So here we go, I'm in my better camera now. You can see what it looks like. So there's the battery on the bottom. That's a 5,000, huge battery back there, strapped into place, cable coming off the back. It goes all the way up around the GPS. Not a good idea to put battery cables around GPS. It's going to interfere with your GPS reception. I can push it off to the side slightly. I'm just trying to keep it out of the motors when they're spinning. So I think that's a design that maybe they should have had. You know, you have a battery XT60 plug up top. It would have been nice to have something at the bottom, an XT60 or XT90, just so you can plug your battery right in. All right, let's plug this beast in. There we go. Okay, here we go. Does it have the power to lift itself? Well, I'm up. That's flying with a big 5,000. I'm taking it slow because it's a lot of weight. I am going into the wind. You can see I'm sort of tilted on an angle with all that weight in the wind, but here we go. Flying around. So you could fly with a big battery like that. It's not something I would do that often. But yeah, if you had to fly really far, you could do that because you're going to get a massive amount of flight time. I have no idea what the flight time is going to be, but I'm guessing it's a way up there. Let's come up back. And as you can see, if you want to go fast, you can go faster. I'm not going to go too fast. But because this thing here weighs a ton. I wouldn't fly over people with something this heavy. This is too scary for that. Oh, I didn't notice that. My little piece of water over here is still ice frozen. All right. Let's stay away from that in case we fall out of the sky, because we weigh so much we'll just plunk right through that ice. All right, let's come on back. So you're probably wondering, how does it fly? Well, this is a bad time for me to give you my judgment because it's really windy out here. So I'm not flying as smooth as I'd like to. Like, there's a lot of objects I'd like to fly through, but the wind is just pushing me from side to side. So I have to avoid that. But I will say it is doable. If you wanted to put a massive battery like a 5,000 on your drone, you could do it. And no, I'm not gonna do any acro or freestyle with the 5,000 on the bottom, because that cable that's hanging off the back might go flying into a prop and it will just chop its power supply. All right. I was only trying this for science to see if it's doable, but it is pretty doable. Whoa, that wind! It's getting stronger and colder. So anyways, let's go on back. Let's bring it back. I'll show you what it looks like in the camera coming back. I love this quad because you can fly pretty slow. Like, I'm in strong winds now, and look, it's staying quite level. It's pretty darn decent, probably because it weighs a ton. All right, let's go on back without crashing into me. And bring it down near this ice and snow. There I am there. The wind's got it. The wind's got it. All right, let's go on down here. There we are. As I said, that was just for science to see if you could fly with such a heavy battery. Now, just to sum up a few things, the receivers that you can order this drone with are plug and play. So if you order it with plug and play, you can do like me and fly it with the DJI Remote 2 or 3. That's how I flew it with this in the video. You can also get ELRS if you want to fly super long range, and that will give you the 3 antennas in the back and 1 in the front. It's insane. But you need the correct radio for that, and I'll put a picture of the radio I would use for something like that in the corner. I've done a review of it. And if you don't have that radio that I'm showing here, then you can use any ELRS LRS radio. However, you will not take advantage of the antenna in the front and the antenna in the back. It's going to use one or the other. That's it. Oh, and before I forget, the flight controller in here is a Tacker flight controller H743BT. And as for the size of the props, they are 7.5 inches, but most manufacturers, they really don't care about the 0.5, so they'll advertise this as a 7-inch prop drone. So the next thing to watch would be the unboxing. You'll see what you get in the box when you buy this beast, and then come back to me and I'll give you my positives and negatives. Here we have the box the MOZ7 V2 arrives in. Inside the box you'll find the MOZ7 and all the accessories. Please note that on the side of the box is written the specifications of the drone I used in this video. The MOZ7 arrives almost fully assembled. You will have to install the props, the battery straps, and the battery grip. As you can see here, the MOZ7 version 2 uses a dead cat frame design. Construction is top quality with very thick carbon fiber. Access to the flight controller is under this piece of rubber. Total weight without a battery is 816 grams. Accessories include one spare set of props, and you also get the nuts for the props as well as the bolts for the external camera mount. Spare screws are also included, as well as tools for installation. A total of 4 battery straps are included. You receive 2 long ones and 2 short ones. You also receive a battery grip for the bottom of the quad. Only install it if you plan on using batteries on the bottom. If later you install a crossfire receiver, while a crossfire attachment is provided. Documentation for the DJI-04 Pro camera is included, as well as a quick start guide for newbies. Plenty of information concerning the flight controller is also included. And finally, product support cards are included, as well as a GEPRC keychain and GEPRC stickers. Alright, you're back to me. I'll give you a couple of pet peeves. First pet peeve would be that the covers that are over top of the DJI-04 system have screws in them. You have to unscrew to get the cover off. I would prefer if there was some sort of click system, click in, click out to pull the cover off, or rubber to pull the cover off. Because if I want to get the micro SD out, or I want to plug in a USB-C, I have to have a tool, an hex tool, to get the screw to take it out to access the DJI-04 system. Pet peeve number 2, you see up here, that's an XT60 input for the battery on the top. Look on the bottom, there is no input for the battery on the bottom. I wish they put another XT60 input on the bottom so I didn't have to run a cable from the bottom all the way back up to the top and get it chopped up by the props. That could happen. Positive number 1, I call it the beast because to me it just feels like a beast. I will say it does inspire confidence. This is huge, but when I fly it, I feel very confident. I have no fear of hurting myself or anybody else. This thing flies amazing. And with that said, my next positive is it feels like a super solid drone. Like just holding it, it feels so like, oh my God, this is a manly drone. It feels really good. So I like it. The only thing I will say is even though it inspires confidence, it's big, it's manly, it's a beast, it's not really for beginners. If you're a beginner and you cannot fly FPV drones in acro mode, if you try to fly this, there's a good chance you'll chop your head off or somebody else's head off because it's not designed for beginners. However, if you can fly an FPV drone in manual mode, acro mode, and you've only flown one like that, you could definitely fly this if you have that experience. All right, guys, so I'm going to end this video here and I'm going to put links to this product below. Go check it out, see if it's for you. I think the price is reasonable because it is a big quad and you do get a lot of solid quad for your money and it's made really well. So yeah, check those links, see if the price matches what you expected. So this ends my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions on this baby, post your questions below. I'll get back to you and stay tuned for more super duper awesome review videos on this channel. All right, guys, catch you in the next one. Bye.